right. Welcome everybody to another session of The Space Between. I believe we're episode 4?
5.
5 already. Well, what do you know? Um, and we've established a rotation for the recaps, which is an exciting addition to our routine. So tonight is Ethan delivering the recap through Bo's perspective.
Man, gotta work myself up into this.
Do you need to talk about like
Need
taking
to
out
s-
someone's fuzzy kneecaps for a little bit to get in character?
Slam back some sweet tea and
Look at pictures of badgers. Just
Mhm.
imagine cuddling a badger.
get in the bow zone.
Ozone. Oh no. Did not need that.
I think the world needs more bow zone.
Getting the bows there.
Get in the
I
bow
think there's
zone.
too much boson in the world, actually.
Really? You sure?
There's a hole in the boson layer.
I knew that joke was just a matter of time.
Here we go.
Get in the zone. Bozone.
Everybody on this ship sucks. Bunch of low down, good for nothing polecats who ain't got a lick of decency. Several seconds of indistinguishable noise from Bo wandering too far from the mic. First, they won't let me shoot that crooked snake, Jebediah. Then they won't let me keep Daisy. No, they want to give her to some hoity-toity suit who's going to make expressions with her butt. I was so angry I could spit. Then old Aoebe starts talking about her servants growing up. I think things are starting to add up. She wasn't offering that fancy void carbine to make me a crew member. She wanted me to hire herself a new butler. Before I know it, she'll have me serving her finger sandwiches and folding her laundry. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and all that. Well, that life ain't for me. Wish there was some straight shooter I could talk with. Too bad that Zeke fella's gone. Seems like a smooth operator. Now that Kiwi girl, she seems like she knows people. See with her if I should jump ship before Little Miss Trust Fund tries to put me in a tailcoat.
Bo would look great in a tailcoat.
All right, just real quick. Kiwi girl, is that Cherry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, just clarifying. Just clarifying.
Who else?
I was pretty sure if it was fruit related, it was cherry.
Yeah, we're just moving down the produce aisle.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh boy. All right.
Poor Andrew.
What did you say?
We're expressing the butt of a badger.
Making expressions with her butt. Poor Daisy.
Oh yeah. So Avery, you missed some interesting stuff.
Well, you know me, I'll roll with it. Just had to
Not-
get that out there.
Not the
It's
least.
okay.
of
It
which-
means that Zeke will also have to roll with it.
That's what he does best.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's see. I gotta turn Do Not Disturb on early because somebody is blowing up my phone.
It's your mom.
Ooh, burn.
It's okay, Mom.
No,
Wait.
it really is. It's in our Spanish group. We're
Me-
practicing.
Meaning it's
speaking
not
Spanish.
directed at me. That there's been a lot of activity today. Anyways. All right. So what we got? I guess we'll get to setting the stage here in a minute, but do that. We've got a couple things to sort out.
Oh no, sorting.
Yeah, sorting is fun.
Mm.
Okay, so you guys put out some feelers for some job opportunities last session.
Very especially.
I've got a couple of hooks to present to you. And then I guess we also had Zeke doing some stuff in the background. So we need to work him back in at the proper moment. Do you guys want to just go ahead and resolve whatever he was up to and get him back back on the ship so we can kind of roll with him as part of the group?
That works.
Yeah, get everybody back together.
The band back together.
All right, so let's see. Trying to think of a couple. I had 2 skill checks in mind to get some kind of idea of how his session apart from the group went. And I think one of those is going to be probably a connect role, but you could make the case for some other sort of social skill, perhaps. That would cover I guess, the social part of what Zeke was investigating. And the other, I believe, would be a metapsionics with wisdom skill check.
So you want me to
That's
connect with what?
With charisma.
Wait, Zeke's making a connect with charisma check, or
That is
just
correct.
somebody needs to? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Just double
Zeke.
checking.
Here we go. He rolled a dice.
Okay. Not too
And you
shabby
wanted
at all.
metapsionics with what?
With wisdom.
Good job, Zeke.
Roll big. Eh,
Hmm.
Mm.
he's learning.
He's
Learning.
learning. Yes, he's stretching his wings when it comes to his metapsionics abilities.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
like the only one he hasn't really No, that's not true.
Yeah, and the way that we narratively justify, his gradual addition of skill points and various things can, can take a couple different forms. I think the stuff that he's gotten up to in the past could absolutely have some of that could have happened because of his relative inexperience with his abilities and needing to get out and put them in practice more actively. Exactly, Ethan. So, yeah, let me summarize for you, Avery, how Zeke's outing went. He's spent the better part of a day following up on some rumors and some leads that he had been given that he'd paid a little bit for. And he'd gotten a pretty good deal, but he talked to about 10 different people with varying levels of helpfulness. But across all of those interactions, he feels like he did pretty well, keeping himself anonymous in terms of his true nature and why he would be asking about these sorts of occurrences. I'm not sure what sort of excuse or cover story he might have come up with for why he'd be asking after those sorts of events, but um, most people in general don't take kindly to a random psychic showing up on their doorstep. So he left that part out and did not didn't suffer excessive scrutiny over his line of questioning. And he does believe that he got some information that narrowed down the part of the city where some of these supposed things have been happening. and he he was he had enough time left in his day to go and just do a quick pass, you know, ring around the block, so to speak, and just scope the area, see if he spotted anything noteworthy or particularly psionic in nature. But he didn't find anything out of the ordinary. Just a city block that is it's in disrepair, hasn't apparently made it to the you know made it to the top of the list of the construction crews reconstruction efforts, but it is still somewhat populated. It's just people living in basically post-war bombed out conditions, um, and thinks still thinks his leads were solid, just might bear some more attention in the future. But that's enough of beating the streets for one day, so he makes his way back to the ship. Does he want to do you want to share the results of his day with Cherry, or you just want to turn in?
Um,
Or anybody else for that matter?
sorry, I'm just reading up on these skills because there are a few of them.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I guess we'll check in with Cherry.
Okay.
Whomever, I guess. Who asked Zeke to do this, or did he just do it of his own?
Yeah, so this was his motivation. This is related to his primary motivation for being here in Urala, why he and why Cherry was going with him, uh, hunting down the rumors of. I didn't know if you wanted to. I was slightly beating around the bush because I didn't know if you'd talked about that in character with other people, and thought that might be a fun thing to spring on them at some point.
Yeah, I guess he would come back and he would provide all of that information to Cherry. Um, we don't necessarily need to play it out unless y'all want to, but
No, you can basically summarize if you want.
so yeah, Zeke would probably share with Cherry that he did his reconnaissance, that he is suspicious of the goings on in a particular area. Ben, was there a name to that? I guess district.
No, it was basically just an address. It hasn't. the- we could we could flesh that out, but I hadn't considered that detail worth the time, I should say.
Well, um,
It's the location of the rumored activity.
yeah, I mean,
Dun,
he
dun,
would
dun.
share that he is aware of the general location of this rumored activity, that he'd scoped it out, and at first glance, there's nothing stand out about the area. It will probably require us to go back and do a more thorough investigation when we can be together and not, jeopardizing our lives solo.
Okay. She would nod along and be listening, but after a while, he would notice that she was starting to sound a little bit like, uh-huh, uh-huh, like she's not quite 100% tuned in.
Right.
Like she's trying to multitask. So she's like, "Yeah, well, we can like go back another time. Like, sometimes if at first you don't succeed, you just go back again." And he kind of gets the feeling that like she maybe didn't hear everything he said, but like maybe she mostly got it.
Yeah. I guess with that, he'd probably go to his own quarters, find his journal, and take notes of any additional details while they're fresh in the mind.
Okay.
That gif is almost exactly how I think about Cherry responding to Zeke's info dump.
So I guess, are we back at the ship after dropping off the Badgers?
Yes. Yeah, everybody's back to the ship.
That went well, and we got paid.
That helps.
We got paid.
I should hope so.
I didn't think there was a chance that people wouldn't pay until I met Jebediah.
Well, there are plenty of people who don't want to pay.
But doesn't that just make people angry at you?
That's why you have weapons.
That's why we have Bo.
And me.
And you. But you don't act like a homicidal killer, Pete.
How's a homicidal killer supposed to act, Eva?
Like Bo?
Is Bo
Huh.
there for this question? Just interested.
No, he'd wander, like teenager pouting, walk to his room as soon as they got back to the ship.
I can't imagine he tries to spend any more time around Eva as he has to.
Because he might take this as like the nicest thing they've ever said about him.
I know.
And I'd be like, I guess I was wrong. They're not all a bunch of yellow-bellied sapsuckers after all.
Well, let's go see what Cherry came up with, and we'll have to be careful, Pete.
Yep.
Okay, I'm the captain. I am a genius. We can do this. Let's go.
We can do this.
And whether Cherry has come back with those contacts and all that, curated the list, done what she needs to do or not, Eva thinks it's time, and she is striding out, trying to look like she's knows what she's doing and is in control, and says, "Cherry, do you have that list for us?"
Is she like knocking on Cherry's door, or she just poked her head in?
Oh,
or
no,
what?
she's just going out into like whatever the main room of the ship is, and she says that whether Cherry's there or not.
Okay. Cherry's in her room.
So Cherry probably hears Eva like through the wall. I imagine there's in a ship our size. What is that main room? Probably a cargo bay, Ben.
Sorry, whose room?
I'll just go with cargo bay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That seems to be
Sorry,
where a lot of our interactions have occurred, anyways.
Yeah.
And Eva looks around.
It's a memorable place for Cherry, of course.
Yeah, for many reasons at this point. Oh, she is. She's not here. Okay.
How large is our ship? Like, think like radius.
She wanting to get very specific. That hasn't exactly been determined. We're
Ballpark, not like exact.
yeah. Gotta make sure I'm in the right ballpark here. Let's see. What is this? This is a free merchant frigate. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. I envision something, probably in the ballpark of 120 feet in diameter. Uh, and then I don't know, maybe a couple 100 feet long. Thinking in feet here. That's as that's as close as I'm gonna get to sizing up our ship at the moment.
That'll work.
Alright, Eva will go over to Cherry's room, knock on the door.
Yes.
Got that in stereo. What was it she said? How did she respond?
Oh, hold on. The echoing will kind of like die off for a second.
Okay.
And then the door will kind of swish open. You'll see Cherry has a headset on of some sort. She's kind of pulled it down around her neck and looks like she had a lot of stuff out on just multiple devices with lots of screens going um, on the only table surface in the room. You can't remember if that was in there or if Cherry has already set up a piece of furniture in the room that she's renting from you. But
Eva's got a finger up and is looking bewildered already.
sorry, I was recording and I think that it might have echoed a little bit. Just some reverb on the mic. My bad. What's up, hun?
Are you recording the stream?
No. So I'm just like doing some B-roll footage and editing, and then we're gonna get back to the stream at a later time. But I'm also trying to coordinate on those connections that we were talking about with local work. And some of them were asking for just, like some favors just here and there, to verify that I am who I say I am. So yeah, just some of that. As you're talking, you hear some different like sounds and different screens are like lighting up in the background, like different alert pings as you guys are talking.
Oh, okay. I wanted to know if you had that list.
Oh, hold on. That actually might, just one second. You know what? One sec. She's just gonna like kind of dash over to the table and pick up two of the devices, and she starts looking at them, unlocking one and then glancing back at the other. She's left the door open. It up to you if you walk in or not.
Yeah, I think um sorry, I had to ban a user from Twitch. I think she will cross the threshold. She might not go all the way into Cherry's room, but she does cross the threshold and looks around to see what has happened.
Hmm. Well, she does notice like quite a bit of like candy wrappers on Cherry's bed, and it looks like more twinkle lights have been hung up. But other than that, there's not much other than the workspace being overrun with screens. Oh, I think we might have a job actually. Well, there's some options. I mean, like, I'm not going to make the choice for you. Like, that is your prerogative. You totally get to make that choice. Like, you don't need anyone else to make that choice for you, right?
No, as captain and co-captains of the ship, Pete and I will choose.
Uh huh. Yeah. Good. Uh huh. Oh, hold on 1 second. Okay. Yeah. Here you go. And she'll just um turn around with a device in her hand, and she looks down and she realizes that you don't have a device out, and she's like, "Oh, like, do you have like a compad that I could send this to really quick?" You know what? Like, never mind. That's just silly here. And she just hands you the the device in her hand, the compad. It has a list going. And I'm
Pete
gonna
will
let
kind of
Ben
like pat as
tell
if
us.
he's got pockets and then be like, "Oh yeah, I have a compad, but it's probably in the cockpit."
Of course, I have a compad. Here, just send it to me. I know how to use technology.
Cherry, if Eva had like put up a hand like, no, I don't like need to take your compad. I have a compad, just send it to me.
Hmm.
Um, Carrie would have taken her hand and just turned it palm up and put her compad into Eva's hand. She'd be like, I have full confidence in you that you know how to use a compad. However, this is way quicker. And then she would just like flounce back over to her table and pick up two more of the little devices that had pinged while they were talking.
Okay. Yeah. Eva does take the compad then and uh, holds it so that Pete and her can look over the contents.
Hmm.
Pete will look over Eva's shoulder.
What have we got, Ben?
All right. Um,
I'm just
I'm
going
gonna
to
need
keep having notifications go off every time you're in Cherry's room.
I'm gonna need more clarification of that question. What have you got? Where and
We're looking at whatever leads you were going to be providing to us through Cherry's investigations.
yes,
For
good.
possible local jobs.
Okay,
Indeed.
got you.
We wanna hear your hooks.
All right, so
And try not to hang ourselves upon them.
Yep.
I'll do my best to not punish you just for the sake of punishing you because you've followed hooks I gave.
Do
Um,
appreciate that.
all right, so let's see. See. Okay. So we've got two that Cherry picked out from the list that met the sorts of jobs that seemed like things that would interest the crew and seemed to fit the skills well enough and not be too far out of their reach. And I'm gonna go ahead and put. Oh no! Why you do this? OneNote. Forgot it does this. I try to copy text from it, and it wants to paste it as an image, so I gotta paste it somewhere else
Hold
first.
Shift, Control Shift V.
Control Shift V.
World's biggest hat.
True. That's funny. Considers image status to be a formatting property. Anyway. All right. So. Yeah, there we go. These are the two jobs that she pulled out. I'll go ahead and read them out to you guys as well. So one was a local job. It was described as a bodyguard escort job. Just they left fairly vague information about the destination, but that it was deep in the valley, closest valley here on Urala. They were estimating a 2-day expedition, 1,000 credits per bodyguard. And the other lead was an escort or excavation job, was including requested passage to Dimnov, and travel time excluded. They're estimating 3 to 5 days on site, 10,000 credits total. And so those are a couple of your options. However, just in the time, it's been say a couple hours since your meeting with Emmanuel Gray.
That's right, he did mention a job too. Or work.
He hasn't given a lot of detail yet. Seems more to be feeling you out on it. But did we establish he was also getting in touch with you guys through Cherry, or was he going through Eva?
I believe Cherry stepped forward on that.
Okay. So what he would have sent her is not too much more so far than that he needs a local official convinced to approve a license for his new club. He hasn't been very forthcoming with all the details of where it is, or why it hasn't been approved, or what official this is that needs convincing. But he also doesn't specify a payment amount either. Just conveniently left that out.
So what do we think, everybody?
Bo is so ready to convince somebody.
Cherry, or Pete, maybe you can know. Maybe even Bo. Bo!
Cherry glanced up a little bit at the mention of her name, but she just quickly goes back to doing whatever it is is doing. Seems to be something with seems to be something to do now with her camera.
Yeah.
You hear some more surly footsteps, and Bo walks up and he says, "You rang, ma'am?"
Captain, but yes. You've done mercenary work also. Can you look at this, the three of you, look at this and tell me what Mr. Gray is offering for us to do this job?
Got some background. Somebody.
So we've just got the general convincing, or whatever message you gave, Ben.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all we got so far.
You kind
Some
of waves
Is
your
there some
hand.
way for Bo to read between the lines on that with his previous line of work?
Yeah, Eva is basically asking that. She waves her hand and says, "Just there's got to be some kind of code in there, right? I just haven't read enough on that to know. Otherwise, I would obviously be able to see it."
Uh-huh. Yeah. You keep telling yourself that, sweetie.
I would. I've read a lot of books.
Oh yeah, your what's his hat in the Temple of Kissy Faces book. Yeah. I don't know if that's the most reliable of
That's just
information sources on this
one
line of
book,
work.
and it's based on factual events. 3 parts removed from reality, but there's fact in there somewhere.
Yeah, that shirtless guy on the cover seemed like he was awful factual.
Men wear no shirts sometimes. It's true. She is getting so
Ben,
red.
as Cherry is looking through the offers for the umpteenth time, which one had the most fuzzy kneecap language?
Which one had the most fuzzy kneecap language? I'm gonna I need you to spell out for me a little more clearly what you mean by fuzzy kneecap language.
Well, that's what we decided to call it last time. So last time, the thing that was happening was that we were talking about how sometimes they'll put it in like really flowery, fuzzy language, as Bo put it, but really they're totally fine with you taking out somebody's kneecaps to get it done. So Cherry's looking for language such as creative solutions encouraged, or, stuff like that. Which one's going to seem to give the most freedom?
Who's gonna give the most freedom? Probably. Ah, goodness. You want this assessed by Cherry?
Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
Bo was asking a similar thing earlier, or I'd asked a similar thing for Bo.
Oh, okay. I missed if you asked me for clarification of that. Yeah, I feel like that's not necessarily something that Cherry would pick up on really well, or at least let me just say it's certainly better suited to Bo's background, although Cherry could certainly assess that herself also.
And just what Cherry would think, maybe.
Um for Cherry, give me I think like a notice, maybe a notice check with
Sure, whatever.
wisdom. Um ma- Perhaps to survive, something along those lines.
Okay.
I think for Bo, um
And a shoot with wisdom.
shoot with wisdom.
Is that a expression Bo has ever used, to shoot with wisdom?
I'll allow it.
All right. So Cherry's just going to look at this and say, you guys seem to be really good at like that whole like muscly, like violence bit. Maybe the bodyguard one would be a good job.
It may have. Let me jump in here. It may have been missed in some of the shuffling, but Eva is also asking Pete to look at these. Eva's kind of wanting to know if they can decipher out what Emmanuel is offering in terms of payment, in addition to anything else you get.
What did
So
you-
that's additional information she's asking.
Why did she think too?
Double tapped it there.
Yeah, it went
Um,
funky there as I was asking it to do things.
Sorry, Dex. You said Eva was going to be trying to clarify the parameters of Emmanuel Gray's job.
Y'all are killing me tonight.
Sorry, there's other conversations going on at the same time.
All right. Do I have your attention, Ben?
You do. You have my attention.
Do I have your attention, Robert?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, all right. So, Eva wanted Pete included also, or I wanted Pete included in the assessment of all of these contracts. But Eva, like specifically, was trying to get them all out here and asked, "What do you think Mr. Gray is offering as a reward for his job?" That's actually what she asked everyone.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I guess that's what Bo was trying to read into.
I mean, I guess I could roll for it.
Stabbing with wisdom.
Yeah, I'd say as far as what he's offering is completely unclear and seems very much to have been intentionally left unclear. It seems like he's really just testing the water and not wanting to give any more information than necessary to, unless you actually express your interest or willingness to do something. I'd say that Bo, with his assessment, he could, and familiarity with some of these kinds of things, would say the implication that Emmanuel Gray is giving is that it will be worth your while. Now, whether or
Okay.
not you necessarily agree about that is, up to you. But generally speaking, in those kinds of situations, it's going to be a good payout, and probably not the sort of person that you want to haggle too hard with.
Yeah. So I guess Bo kind of relays that. He'll say, "Yeah, this was the kind of stuff I was telling you about. When they're getting this fuzzy with the wording, it implies, they ain't so concerned about how the convincing gets done, but that they're normally willing to pay pretty good if you do that. I get the feeling he's testing the waters, seeing how much we're down to clown."
Usually, it means that the kneecaps are optional afterwards.
And I'm guessing illegal. Not that kneecaps are illegal, but the job.
It depends on the planet you're on.
On this planet, everything is illegal.
Is scaring somebody illegal? I mean, shoot, they probably put some of them slasher films up on the movie. We're just, giving this guy a little reason to, expedite some forms.
Hey, Ben, is scaring somebody illegal on Urala?
That depends entirely upon how one scares someone.
All right, well, that's a kind of the answer that I was looking for. Eva will, if you'll allow me to make a no check for this, Ben, since.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, she had a vested interest
Oh.
in paying attention to the local laws.
Also,
so-
side note, what was the name of your ship, Eva?
Swallowtail.
The Swallowtail? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Eva would
Thanks.
know that she would know that the law of the land is that menacing is, basically it's a misdemeanor. It's not punished as severely as actual, violent crime,
Uh-huh.
but menacing with, clear violent intention in order to coerce someone is definitely something that the authorities would be interested in. Now, that comes with the qualifier that um, you know, that is a slightly more difficult standard to prove. But yeah,
Okay. Well, Eva will start to since the question came up of is scaring somebody illegal, Eva has uh this is absolutely her place to shine, whether anybody wants her to or not, and she she will tell Bo the different variances of menacing and the some of the case law as far as she can get in explaining the laws of menacing on Urala.
My goodness, I will break my own kneecaps if you'll just stop.
That would be illegal.
You didn't break your own kneecaps on this plane. I hate this place. Ain't no fun no more.
It just means that we have to make sure that we fall on the more difficult to prove side. I mean,
now this
So
this might
long
be a
as we
good
don't
moment.
leave permanent damage, they can't prove it.
Might be a good moment for me to point out that Bo, with his assessment of these jobs, he does know enough about Urala to know that number one, being escort, someone needing bodyguards to, deep in the valley,
mm-hmm.
That is taking taking you much further from the center of Vothoxian rule on Urala, where things are a little bit more loosey goosey, and local enforcement of national laws are more on a case by case basis. Um,
Oh yeah, so he'll look at that and they'll say, "Well, I don't know, maybe two birds, one stone." You said you got some other job about taking some fellows down into the valley. They're a little more lax down there. I think that's what old Jebediah was saying. I think I know a little bit about that too. They ain't always so keen about the letter of law down there. Maybe we just convince this old fella who needing to get the license to come down with us on this job into the valley. And while he's there, we can do a little convincing.
so
About this time, Zeke would probably say, if you guys want to break some actual kneecaps, I found a mark with a bounty that's worth discussing.
Oh.
I knew this fellow was legit. He's speaking my language.
And yeah, he's probably he's probably got his compad open. The source of the psionic activity has probably caught in the notice of the government based on messages between me and Ben. And it looks like there's a bounty for him. Ben, any additional context you can add us that might flavor that entry for the team to read?
Wait, there's a bounty for Zeke?
Not Zeke,
No.
the... Go ahead.
No, so yeah, let me see here. I guess think I'd like to have Zeke explain. Well, I guess he can explain it in whatever vague terms he wants about what what he's. Well, okay, no. So the
He wants
person that
to
he's
be
at.
vague and say the government's got a mark on this person. I've been there, and it should be pretty easy.
So what he looked up the incident in question, and he is pretty sure that there would be, but the person the person doesn't necessarily have a known name, which kind of complicates things. So would probably require some discussion with the government bounty office to work something out. But he is confident that some sort of reward would be offered for bringing in a rogue psychic.
Well, there you go. And that kind of goodwill might, let us get away with some of this other stuff. If we gotta rough up some pencil pusher. Maybe look the other way if we already handed them a rogue psychic.
That's a really good idea, Bo.
Could also just be a you scratch my back, I scratch yours. After all, if we're gonna go about some bounty, then that is technically doing the government a favor.
Yeah, that kind of stuff tends to grease the skids on some paperwork, I'd reckon.
Okay. Well, if we're all in this together, then Zeke, see if you can find out. Oh, maybe I should go with you. Don't seem very good with the paperwork type stuff. I'll go. I'll go with Zeke, and I'll ask what kind of process it is and what kind of paperwork is necessary to get in on such a government contract. Cherry and Pete, you find out from Emmanuel Gray if there's any other information he'll provide before we decide to sign up for his fuzzy kneecapping. And Bo, maybe you can look into the escort excavation job and see if Demnoff is somewhere that you would want to go. It looks like a lot of standing around and making sure people don't get shot for being where they are, and so it's probably somewhere illegal on the planet. Ruins hunting or something. Okay, team, go.
Yeah, we're shooting a psycho. There we go. Heading off to Dimmadimmadimnoff.
If we can do all of these, I can make so many minor maintenance patches to the ship. Very minor, very minor.
Is it gonna make causality go back to normal? Because I'd really appreciate that if we're
Oh,
gonna go
that's
flying
not
through-
even a
through
thing
space
to
and
worry
time.
about. It's not affecting you.
A loud clunk sounds in the distance.
Nobody heard that.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I was seeing into the past, future, or other worlds last time we started phasing back out of hyperspace or whatever.
So the way to make the best of that is to just eat something yummy, and then when you phase into the future, you get to taste it. Or in the past. Sorry, Pete.
He's just trying to get turns around his rugs. Like, whatever.
I'll bring you some 5W30 next trip or what? Isn't that what you drink?
I wouldn't know.
Are you okay with us splitting tasks like that, Ben?
No, not allowed. You must all go to every task together.
Alrighty. We're all going to the government office. You're going to love how Eva talks to these administrators.
No, I'm teasing, obviously. Most times I'm not gonna shoot you guys down splitting up.
Yeah.
And you wanted to do that with Zeke, correct?
Yeah, it seems like It really seems like just kind of a paperwork administrative situation to get yourself set up as a government bounty hunter, all that kind of stuff. So Zeke was the one that knew the information, and Eva seems to think that because Zeke didn't come back with complete information, that he's incapable, and that's why she's assigned herself to him.
Government mercenaries probably have good benefits, so there's that.
Yeah, so let's see. How are we gonna do this? Okay, so something. Let's see. So we got Eva and Zeke. Got
Yeah, man.
Cherry and Bo and Pete are going to talk to Emmanuel Gray or something along those lines.
Yeah, you want me to write it down?
Yeah, go ahead and type it out so we got the groups. Make sure we got the split. You can put it in whichever channel. But I have, because there's some stuff that should be mentioned about psychic stuff, since it's coming up here with Zeke's leads that he's following. Yeah, because I'm trying to remember when that happened. I think that happened right at the end of a session that you guys showed up in Urala in space, and then I forgot to cover that. It's one of those kind of new planet arrival things that I failed to cover, which is going to be particularly important for Zeke.
Right.
How the planet deals with psychics. So, some of you players may remember from long ago, back before Saoirse was completely undetectable, that visiting psychics on Urala do tend to have to basically register themselves and then wear a little badge. They don't necessarily they don't track your movements, but if you were to show up certain places or get into certain kinds of trouble, it's good to have been registered and show that you are on the up and up, not skulking about doing who knows what. So relatively light version of psychic screening compared to some places that Zeke is familiar with. But yeah, something I should have mentioned, because Zeke would have known to expect that. And
Does he already have his little badge?
yeah, I was gonna say, I'm assuming that he would have been a-okay with that level of, supervision or registration, and would have gone along with that, no problem.
Yeah, he would have.
Okay. Because that makes the next part much easier.
Like he had to do that for field trips and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was raised in an environment where it was very well understood that his nature would set him apart in more ways than one, and not everybody likes that. So sometimes you got to play nice with the locals in order to make everything go smoother. All right, so Bo
There you go.
is investigating the Dimnoff job. Cherry and Pete with Mr. Gray, and Eva and Zeke checking out the government bounty office. All right. Is that the order you guys want to tackle it in, or do we want
Whatever's
to
easiest
sit up?
for you.
I don't mind. Let's see. Let me start with number 3. Start with Cherry and Pete. Going to Mr. Gray. I need to. I think those other two could potentially be pretty quick.
I do think it's important to ask. Do Cherry and Zeke actually agree to what Eva has just told them to do?
That is a good question to ask.
Yep.
Zeke certainly does.
About Cherry.
Danielle, you're muted.
Uh-oh, how long has Danielle been muted?
At 2, Mute.
I'm not sure.
Sorry. Repeat the question. Noah was upset and I was distracted.
Oh, okay. Is Cherry okay with what Eva has just kind of tasked Cherry to do and also Zeke to do? Zeke's okay with it. What about Cherry?
Oh, she's more stressed at Zeke right now. So she's not even gonna like be phased at being told that's her job or whatever. She will also ask Eva if she has a minute later.
Of course. Like now, later, or later?
Like it can be later, I think.
Okay. You and Pete go talk to Mr. Gray, and then we can talk. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, sounds great.
I'm so good at being a captain. Okay, Zeke, come on.
We'll give her a little thumbs up.
Okay. So we're gonna put Cherry and Pete on a little trip to meet Mr. Gray. Well, let me put it this way. For the bounty office, let's see.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 of those seem like they're probably just roles and then an info dump, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I was gonna say we don't necessarily need to role play out scenes for every one of these, and drag it out for the whole session. So for the bounty office deal, yeah,
Actually, Ben, I'd like an opportunity to have a little side convo with Dex before we do that, if possible.
Okay. Yeah, so let me see. Let's go ahead and start with that then. Let's get Eva and Zeke talking before they go to the bounty office. We'll see how much we want to do with that. Because number 3, Cherry and Pete with Mr. Gray, could very much be a conversation. Bo might do a little short one-on-one, but that won't be very involved either.
Yeah. So if you want, go ahead and do one of those first. Is what's his name?
Oh, he had to step away.
Hmm?
Did Avery have to step away? No, he's here.
No, Avery and I are chatting.
An Adam character.
That's what you meant.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I thought you meant you wanted to do a scene with Eva and Zeke first. Okay. All right.
A couple of points between the two of us before we.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get Cherry and Pete then. Danielle and Robert, you guys ready to meet Mr. Gray?
Sure. Is my microphone on?
Yes, it is. Was that
Cool.
a no, Robert?
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
I said, "Yup."
Oh, okay. It was overlapping something else. It sounded for a second like basically a sarcastic no, but it will be if I have to kind of thing.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. No, I'm ready.
Cool. Alrighty then. Well, we got we'll gloss over the drive over, say you're able to make it, and no complications arise on your way over. Um and you were able to we'll basically say that Cherry responded more or less in the affirmative, that or I guess Eva responded that they were interested and she'd send Cherry and Pete to discuss in more detail because Mr. Gray did not really want to have a conversation over text about it.
Yeah, that works.
So
Yeah, he wouldn't want a paper trail in this case.
exactly. So you guys make your way on over. You are expected and welcomed in, and this time you're invited into the house, and are able to follow a servant to a basically a sitting room where Mr. Gray is lounging, dressed in in his evening wear, a robe, and smoking a cigar and just enjoying his evening tea. And without getting up, he gestures with a cigar, welcomes you in. Let's see, it was Cherry and Pete, right? Come on in.
Right.
Well, make yourselves at home. Take a seat. He looks like he's starting to offer something. I don't suppose either of you smokes.
Cherry would thank him but turn him down.
He looks to Pete.
He kind of tilts his head for a moment and says, "I would attempt, but there's no point.
Well,
We may as well just discuss business."
fair enough. Very pragmatic of you. I always ask anyway. Many of your kind do enjoy putting on airs, and as a way of, just fitting in a little more. But no matter to me. Don't mind. Takes a long drag. Enjoying this myself. But yes, if you'd like something to drink or something to recharge, something to lubricate the old joints, by all means, ask and it's yours. Yeah. We'll lean forward and look back and forth between them a little bit more intently. So, you're interested in helping me with my little problem?
We are interested in being gainfully employed.
Well, isn't everyone? And that, you see, is exactly the center of my problem. I have this club that I've been renovating. Acquired the property from someone who no longer had any use for it, and certainly didn't have the interest in footing the bill to rebuild it. So yes, here I am. Fortunately, some of the well, the local ordinances are, well, let's just say, a little unfriendly to free business. And one of the officials has taken a special interest in my club. Thinks that there's some problems with some of the floor plan and some of the, well, uh, planned activities at my club. And, well, he's proven rather stubborn, and, well, I'm not really sure how firm he would be in the face of more persuasive efforts than mine. And I thought perhaps just my gestures at himself, uh, general unlikable nature might be interfering with my attempts to make him see reason. So,
No, Mr. Gray, I do believe you're being a little hard on yourself. I find you generally likable.
well, he says with a smarmy grin, ah, it's very kind of you to say, but I'm only drawing what conclusions I can from this man's attitude toward me, but that is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that I need the license approved, and I'm I'm at a loss. My lovely wife is at a loss, and I'm, well, looking for someone who's more persuasive than I am and
Mm-hmm.
may be able to be more convincing.
Wonderful. Do you feel that this fellow does well with more straightforward convincing, or does he need like a roundabout leading to be convinced?
He sits back and puts on a thoughtful expression. Miss Cherry, I'm just frankly not sure.
Uh-huh.
He's gotten me thoroughly stumped, and, well, being the upstanding sort of man that I haven't really given much thought to more than the most straightforward means of convincing. So I really couldn't say much more than that, and frankly don't have the time or wherewithal to get bogged down in meaningless details. I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
am just, well, someone who is
Hmm.
interested in getting the job done, and
Yeah,
as
uh-huh.
I hope you may have concluded, payment is forthcoming, assuming that the job can get done.
What kind
You know,
of payment would be involved for this sort of job?
ah, he waves a hand dismissively. That's a problem for my future self. I'd usually say, can assure you I'd make it worth your time, but of course
Mm,
the payment would be commensurate with the quality of the work that was done, and
mm.
well,
Well,
how much trouble it saves me. So,
Mr. Gray, you do seem a man who values his time very highly. And I understand that your time is probably much more valuable than ours. However, we are not as successful as you, and therefore our time is of a much more limited nature. Would you be willing to put a down payment on this job?
he raises an eyebrow at her. Down payment. Hmm.
Yes, a committal fee.
My committing to you that you will get my job done for me.
Committing to paying us for getting your job done for you, Mr. Gray.
There is, of course, an element of we may have upfront expenses, but we may also have multiple ideas already and be investigating them as we speak. So,
Hmm. Well, you make an interesting suggestion. Go ahead and give me either a trade or a talk check.
All right.
he
One
has
second.
neither.
1 second. 1 second. Cherry's doing a talk check.
Okay. Let's see. Now she is an expert, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you can re-roll that because that is not going
Okay.
to cut it there.
All right, let's try. Talk, attribute, charisma. There it
All
is.
right, that's a little bit more like it.
Yeah.
That's a
So-
lot more like it.
So he takes his time mulling it over, taking a drink, calling for a refill. Again, looking to either of you to see if you're interested in anything.
He will just say no thank you. But I appreciate the gesture.
No. Hey, guys, hold on.
Okay. Seems we may have had a technical difficulty. Meanwhile, I decided to get myself a little bit of refreshment. IBC.
Can you
Breaking
guys hear
Internet.
me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, it was cutting in and out, and I could not hear what Mr. Gray said.
Oh, okay. He was just asking if you guys were interested in anything to drink.
I think Cherry would ask if he had any more evening tea.
An attendant arrives promptly with a pot and pours her a mug.
How did he respond to her asking for her to pay part of it up front? Is this his response?
Yeah, so he was basically stalling. He was thinking about it and taking long puffs on his cigar. And he did have a little chuckle and mutter under his breath after at something Pete had said. And
What did Pete say? Because Robert was cutting out for me.
Yeah, and you catch under his breath operating expenses in his chuckle. But after a couple of minutes, he sits up, taps his cigar off to the side, and says, "You know what, Cherry? I like your forwardness, and I liked the job that your captain and the rest of you accomplished for me. Those badgers were well taken care of and are doing quite nicely. I think I could see my way to giving you a little jump start on your job for me, helping cover some of those expenses you might encounter. Let's call it 5,000. And see what you can make of that."
She'll smile widely and nod and say, "Do you think that is a fantastic way of securing our time to help you? Thank you so much."
As soon as he says the number, there's a little flash of movement over by the door as one of the attendants rushes out of the room
Huh.
and comes back not 30 seconds later, carrying a small but very professional looking briefcase, and hands it to Cherry with a short bow and excuses himself.
Oh my. Are these going to be physical credits?
Seems likely.
The most deniable.
Does Cherry want to open the briefcase?
She'll look at Mr. Gray. Is he looking at her or?
Yeah, he's like mid sentence explaining this that let's call it yeah, that this amount should cover whatever expenses you start with, and I think he was just starting to continue to say that you know we'll see how well the job goes and see what further payment your word warrants.
Pete will give a small half bow, and so we'll make sure to be responsible with it and discreet.
Cherry actually does not open the briefcase. She hands it to Pete.
He will accept it in his offhand.
All right, well,
Cherry's getting the vibe that she doesn't exactly need to count bills in front of this man.
yeah, he when she hands it off, and after Pete assures him about their discretion, he says, "Well, appreciate your eagerness, and I look forward to hearing that the job is taken care of. Of course, if anything comes up that particularly needs my attention, you can discuss it with my secretary. I will be fairly busy the next few days, but
Of course.
she may be able to help you. But otherwise, I hope to hear next from you that I have a stamp awaiting my copy." And
Well, we
he,
thank you for your time.
of course, I'm glad to give my time to those who are worthy of it. And with a broad smile and a raising of his mug to the two of them, he says, "If you'll excuse me, I have other business to attend to, but feel free to finish your tea and leave whenever you need."
Thank
Good
you for
night.
your hospitality.
And he'll let himself outside the door.
Also, what kind of tea was this, Ben?
That's a great question.
When Cherry tastes it, what kind of flavor is she getting?
It's
Tea
definitely it's like an English tea, breakfast tea kind of thing. It's fairly strongly mixed with milk,
Mm.
but it's got a smattering of spices to
Has it been
just
sweetened at all?
a tiny bit, probably less than Cherry would have expected.
Yeah. She waits until he leaves the room. And then she counts to 5, and then she knocks back the entire cup as quickly as possible. Like, just shotguns this cup of tea.
How does
And then
Pete react to that? Oh, sorry, and then she what?
And then she turns to Pete and she's making a really weird face.
He will actually just nod with no expression and say, "Let's be on our way." And he'll wait till they're outside before saying anything. When they're outside, in a more private setting, Pete will glance at her and say, "That was daring. Um, he is a powerful man, so we should do our best to deliver and return
Yeah.
the credits should we fail."
So when they've gotten outside and they're in a more private place, I'm assuming they've like gotten down the street, turned a corner, out of view of this place.
Yeah. Well out of earshot
Carrie
of
just
any.
like drops down and hugs her knees.
And Pete will look at her and say, "Are you ill?"
She's just gonna look at him and go, "That was so scary." And he gave me
You-
yucky to eat.
Well, you did well. I don't think he suspected that you were nervous.
Pete might notice that she looks unusually pale.
Isn't she usually pale?
Yes, this is even more pale than she usually is.
More
Wow.
pale than the norm.
Pete will offer her the other arm, the one he's not carrying the credits in, and say, "Come, I'll help you back to the vehicle."
Can you help me find somewhere with sugary things?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
He'll help her back to the car.
She's gonna like be extra dramatic about hanging on his arm. Just whinging the whole way.
Lucky Pete.
And then when that servant just like ran off, like what is that even? Like who does that?
I imagine for a man such as Mr. Gray, 5,000 credits is mere pocket change. I'm sure he did the math and determined I can afford to lose 5,000 if they fail.
Yeah, I get it, okay? Like daddy does 5,000 credits for pocket change. But like getting your servants to run around and get you like physical credits for people, like what is that?
Well, physical credits are not traceable, Cherry. That's what that is. This is off the books, and so is the payment. We simply
Okay.
possess 5,000 credits.
Great, give me 10 of them and let me get something sweet.
You can have 10 from my credits if you need it. I think we're going to be very careful with this briefcase.
Oh, yeah. And she kind of looks at it again. She seems to have kind of calmed down a bit. She's like, should we look inside it now?
It can wait till we get in the car.
Oh, I thought they were
When
already in
they-
the car.
Oh, well, when they get to the car, yeah, sure. Pete will be like, "Yeah, let's check it out." And I assume it counts up, Ben.
It does, yes. And
So, yeah.
let's see. I think Pete. Let me think here. With Pete, I'm just gonna say that with Pete's, I guess, just his nature and having some affinity to, I guess, electronics and machinery, he can tell like these look like. It looks like they're like fresh off the press, basically. The credit sticks.
Oh my gosh, he's
Wow.
printing money? Who does that?
Who does that?
Definitely making a note to not spend this in one place. And then they'll set off in search of something sweet for Cherry and her nerves.
All right. Very nice. Okay, who wants to go
Man,
next?
if we actually had people listening to this, I would so ask for fan art of Cherry and Pete finding a sweet shop.
That would be
Well,
fun.
guess you're just gonna have to do it yourself.
I know. Don't like more jobs for me.
It's okay. I believe in you.
I think me and Avery have gotten our conversation figured out.
Okay.
I think Avery has something he wants to do here.
Ooh.
So Ben,
Yes.
what actually happens if we register at the GBO? And that is
Are
a
you,
question via the Oracle
Sarah?
method.
Are you asking that question with a point of effort, sir?
Yes, at one point, indeed.
Okay. So let's see.
That's for
You're
the
just
day,
asking.
right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
Is that
And
novel?
Hmm? Yeah, you clicked it and boom, there's the whole. Nice. Okay, and you are at Recog 2, aren't you now?
Indeed. 1 week into the future.
A week. All right. Well, that's. Let's see here. So, what happens if you go and register with the GBO? Hmm.
The government bounding office.
Yeah. Think here. All right. Testing my GM improv skills with Oracle for the first time. Mhm. Okay, so
And I guess just a reminder, only the most important or significant information
right,
needs
only
to
the
be,
most important, and it's up to a minute of vision or whatever.
if that makes your life any easier.
Yeah. Oh, let me see here. Okay, think I have it. So is so first of all, when Zeke does this, um, does he just kind of do it as he's going about his normal routine, or does he like sit down and do some sort of like meditation stance, or indicate in some way to an observer that he is, focusing for a moment on getting an oracle?
In that case, I think he's doing this very intentionally. Um, and so he probably, stopped and said, "Hey, hold on," and is taking a moment to sort of assess anything that he is able to ascertain from
Okay,
this future.
I got you. And this is something that I'm actually trying to think here. Okay, yeah, a main action. So I would, yeah. But psychic processes it almost instantly as part of the powers use. That's what I was thinking. So even though he's going to get a minute's worth of vision into this possible future, it processes it instantly. So like, if Eva's standing there and they were discussing this, and then he decides, okay, yeah, let me look ahead. Um, then he would be answering. He would be continuing to describe it almost immediately after he does his little moment of focusing. But in Zeke's inner eye, he sees a vision of himself going to say, sitting in his room on the ship, getting a ping on his compad that he has mail. Opens it up, and it It's from the Uralin Bounty Office. Let's see. I suppose, what is this? Arsino? I keep forgetting which city we're in.
Yeah.
Arsino Division. And it says in bold letters across the top, application has been approved. And he kind of skims, gets the gist of the email that he is approved to receive payment from the Uralin government for executing bounties. And there's a notice, an attachment that includes apparently the response to a form that he submitted inquiring after a particular reward for the capture of a priority individual that indicates in the affirmative the office has deemed that the individual in question would be worth a bounty of 3,000 credits alive and 1,000 credits dead.
Okay. That was very informative.
And he has a moment of just a moment within the vision to process that information before vision fades.
And Ben, can we infer from that, based on kind of your style of GMing Oracle, that this basically means nothing bad is nothing relevant to this is bad to expect to occur to Zeke by having registered with the office? The absence of people knocking on his door and saying, "You're an unregistered psychic, come with us," it means that that's not happening.
Yeah, within the 1 week span,
Fantastic.
something like that would most certainly have been more significant relative to Zeke than just a letter saying, "Hey, you got approved." And
Okay.
by that same token, I'm gonna overshare maybe because this is our first time doing this, but by the same token, this also implies that the act of registering with the bounty office doesn't necessarily have any direct impact on how on finding this individual within a week's time or something like that.
So, question, I'm assuming just based on how emails work in the real world, there would have been a timestamp on that. Do I have a sense of, at what point within the 1 week future we might expect to be approved to pursue bounties for the government?
The approval, or I guess the confirmation that you may now be paid for turning in bounties comes in 3 days' time.
Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't like same day, next day, or on the 7th day, and that's good.
Right. And it's also definitely yeah. I think that's about it there.
All right, and we can just assume that Zeke would have shared that all of us with Eva.
Yeah, we can say that.
All right. Well, then that does come the question of how do you know that? How do you know all this? And what?
I apologize if I wasn't clear. I think he would have expressed that this was something that
Oh, okay.
was within his power, and
that he was going to do in advance of actually making the inquiry to Ben.
Okay.
So
No problem. Then I think Eva should probably know enough about psychics that she would not freak out or express any kind of you know, she wouldn't act like she doesn't know what's going on, because of course she's going to look it up later and figure out what's going on.
yeah, he would also allude to the fact that he has other disciplines
Okay.
as well. But yeah, so he shares all that. I mean, would she have any resistance to moving forward with the original plan, knowing that additional information?
Mm-mm. Nope.
All right, let's say we get on with it then. Is there any
Okay.
value of role playing this out? Do we want to roll it? How do we want to handle this, Ben?
No, I think that's fine. Basically, I can tell you there's not going to be any challenge in going in and registering. They will of course be able to look Zeke up by the information that he gave when he just registers himself as a visiting psychic with his and that does mean that they would have kept more information on him than on your typical traveler. So yeah, I believe yeah, that's all we really need to get into, unless I don't, well, let me just ask this: would Zeke be would he be wanting to try to keep some of that information private, even from Eva, or would he be letting her be right there at his side during the registration process when they'd go over some of that information for
I don't
I
think
guess
any of the
verification?
information that maybe discussed at that point. I mean, would you even want to register to be a bounty hunter as well?
Uh,
I mean,
yeah,
unless
she
he,
feels like it's if she's going to be taking contracts with the ship, then as the captain or a co-captain of the ship, she should also be registered, so she will.
yeah. So I think if that's the case, then we likely register together, and social security number, address, cell phone number, those things are private. But
Mm.
yeah, he doesn't go out of his way to hide anything from her.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's good enough there.
Good for me.
Ethan makes a good point about Eva there. Okay, then let's transition here to what he is getting up to. Say what?
Rhymes.
Crimes. Oh, what sorts of crimes? Do tell. I'm deeply interested.
Well, I guess researching potential crimes right now.
Mm.
And also rummaging around the ship. He was pretty sure he hid some edible food somewhere.
Good call.
He goes back and checks the same cabinet where he had hidden Daisy.
He finds it all eaten
Oh
for his
my.
crimes.
Yeah, sounds like I'm gonna need a look save from that man.
There's got to be a baby badger in there.
Is he gonna eat
That
it?
that is distinct from the snack search. Yeah, let's just be clear here.
No.
Oh.
All right. He finds the snack that he stashed, unfortunately defiled and partially devoured.
I'll say, oh, one parting gift from Daisy, and then toss it in the trash. And I
Alright.
guess with that, he'll set out and hunt for finding out about this Dimnoff place, and probably also snacks. Guess this isn't his favorite part of the job from when he had to go find his own work to do. Customer relations was never his forte.
Yeah. Righty then. So, so he can go. There's a contact number on the listing, and Bo can express. I guess Bo. I assume Bo has his own compad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, he can send a message and express interest in more details. Generally, how does he put that? What kind of information he's looking for from this potential employer?
Let's see. How's that expressed by them? I guess to know more about or hear a little more about the job site, and I guess what kind of expectations there are for this escort work.
Okay.
How, yeah, and I guess, along the lines of, how heavy heat does he need to be packing?
Mm. All right. Okay. She responds that meeting in person would probably be a better way to discuss it.
Oh, and it's a she. Well, let me see.
Yes. She gives her name as Sarah Lloyd.
Weber?
They'll say, already wanting to meet in person. Goodness, Sarah, what kind of man do you take me for?
Does he actually reply like that by a phone?
Mm-hmm. Customer relations were never his forte.
Indeed, they were not. Let's see. Give me a
Luck save again.
wouldn't go amiss. Give me a talk check first. Talk with charisma.
Oh boy, it's going great. Middle of the road, baby.
Yeah, make that a luck save.
Nope. That cracks.
Um, she the response. Uh, I'm gonna type it out here just very quickly. Did you even give her your? I guess in your initial contact, did you give her your
Yeah.
name?
Guess he didn't, gone over that initial introduction and asking questions about the job.
Okay. Let's see. That is her response by text.
And I
What
like
so she
how
like hangs up and then texts.
Ben italicized or edited to italicize.
Mhm. Uh,
Uh,
You laughing at my gift there?
I am. It's a good one.
I was just thinking about how that would really stink to be rejected like that.
Yeah. Oh man, just drop it on your feet.
yeah, I guess Bo would text back. Were they texting or talking over the phone? Because it's even worse if she hung up and then texted.
No, this is definitely texting. I may have not made that super clear at first, but yeah, this was just in a text. She's not the sort of woman who just answers calls from unknown numbers.
Oh, okay, so he would text back. Might not be the most professional, but I'm certainly worth your time as a bodyguard.
Hmm. All right. She responds yet again, this time saying, I'll think about it. I don't suppose you have a handler, do you?
Yeah, so he'll text back and he's holding back the many snarky replies that are coming to mind and says, I work with a girl named, and you see several bad attempts at trying to spell out Ava before and then if that's what you mean.
All right. That's gonna be her next message to Bo. Does she have a number? Please have her reach out. We'll see if we can do business. And I think that'll it's a fairly strongly implied end to that conversation. So I'm fairly certain Bo could pick up.
He had put 3 kissy face emojis, but thinks better of sending them.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh boy.
So Sarah just sees the Bo is typing thing and then nothing.
Oh man. Yeah.
Ooh.
Haven't established they have that level of connectivity with off-world or devices, but if so, she would breathe a sigh of relief as it goes blank and nothing shows up.
But yeah, I guess he would tell or text the number or Ava's number, and then say that she'll reach out.
All right.
He'll
Well,
take a 3-point shot at a trash can with the candy bar wrapper that he from the snack he'd been munching on. Say, aced another job, Bo.
oh man.
Maybe it is better I started working with the crew.
Yeah, so he has an impending conversation with Eva. Do we want to play out that? Mm-hmm.
Oh, seeing if he made the shot.
Yeah, I made it in the can.
Let's go.
I think we can do the conversation with Eva fairly quick.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to play out him going to Eva and explaining the
Yeah, he'd call her after draining his 3-point shot.
Mm-hmm. What did you find out, Bo?
See, this Sarah girl who was hiring us, she was wanting to meet in person. She seemed awful flirtatious at first, but I don't think she meant to be that way.
Why
There's some folks, they don't always text like they mean.
Bo, why are you talking to her?
Wasn't I supposed to reach out about that job?
I thought you would just find out about Demnoff and like what kind of ruins and things are out there. Oh no, you didn't talk to her, did you?
Oh, well, I texted, and I mean, she probably ain't gonna have me around for drinks, but it still sounds like we're a decent shot at the job.
She was flirting with you?
That's what I was thinking. I don't know. Don't leave me in a room alone with her, is all I'm saying.
Is she a badger?
How am I supposed to know if she's a badger? We weren't FaceTiming or nothing. Like one of them video calls.
I think you would know if she was a badger. There's all kinds of snarling and hissing.
How do you get a snarl and a hiss in a text? I don't know. I'm still learning these things. Oh. Little pads with all little buttons on them.
I don't know. Ask Cherry. Okay. I'll call her. And find out more about the job from her.
Yeah, you do that. Maybe tell her you don't kiss till the third date.
I'm not telling her that.
I don't know.
I will keep my conversation with her clean and professional. Okay, I can do this. We can do this. Oh, bye, Bo.
Oh, see you later, Ava.
And she'll call Sarah.
All right. So that I think is probably um yeah, I think she would answer,
Okay.
and on the other end of the line, Eva would hear uh, what probably be characterized as a stern voice saying, "Sarah Lloyd."
Yes. Hello, Miss Lloyd. This is Eva Mulligan, captain of the Swallowtail. Um,
Hmm.
I was calling to inquire about a business opportunity you posted.
Ship captaining. So you've got this Bo individual on your roster.
He's very good at what he does, but talking isn't one of them. I'm very sorry about that.
Hmm. Well, appreciate that. Might want to keep a little tighter leash on him in the future. But
Oh,
well,
leashes aren't the problem. I thought he was just going to look into Demnoff and what kind of jobs and situations exist out there. I didn't want to ask you directly, because, well, I wanted to know what I was talking about before I talked to you.
trust me, Eva. Leash.
I
Men
think
are
he would like it.
oh,
Yeah.
well, I suppose I'll take back what I was about to say. Probably didn't need to know that, but
I,
thank you, Miss Eva.
I'm sorry. Please tell me
Anyway,
about the job.
yeah, moving on. So I have, well, come across some information that leads me to believe that there's something worth my time on the planet of Dimnock. Now, Miss Eva, I take it you don't know much about Demnoff, or wouldn't have let loose your bow trying to find out information about it.
I have only read surface details. I can tell you about the weather and the population, but not much else.
Okay. Well, um, to put it bluntly, the Dimnoff culture is dying out, and they don't seem all too motivated to stop it. And in fact, some of them seem to be perfectly happy for their culture to die out, and are none too interested in outsiders poking around in their business, and especially their religious business. Um,
Oh.
I've made something of a study of their culture, but even I've been able to find out very little, really. Uh, most of them don't travel much, and when they do, even those that do, well, they don't really care to talk about back home, especially not in any detail worth knowing. So, Yeah, I have acquired some information about a location that I think is definitely worth looking into, but I know very little about kinds of conditions there'll be or how much the locals will resist my going and checking this place out. So I'm hoping to acquire a handful of bodyguards. I can pay fairly well, I'd say, for the experience. Complication being that I find myself without a ship, so you're being a ship captain. Sounds like you are up for that aspect of the job as well.
I'd be happy to work out a package deal, of course. Transit to the site may necessitate additional payment.
Hmm,
Um,
additional payment. All
well,
right, well,
yes, I understood the payment to be the uh the guard service. Maybe I. Mm.
well, that was the intention, but I won't let that be a deal breaker quite yet. If you think you need a little extra payment considering the travel, then I won't argue too strongly about it. We could cross that bridge if we come to it.
Can you tell me what site will you be exploring ancient ruins far from society, or are you going directly to cultural and city centers?
Well, you know what, Miss Eva, that's a wonderful question that I'd honestly love to know the answer to myself.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, so this is a research job also.
oh yeah, yeah.
And do you think
I
that
have a
there's some?
location. Hmm.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have information about a location, but really not much more than uh, that I know there's something well worth our while there. I hope you'll understand that I can't really uh, can't really be discussing that sort of thing with prospective bodyguards, but
Oh, of course, but
um,
you needn't worry about that. I am not a bodyguard. I'm I'm more of an academic myself, and so we'll have lots to talk about.
well, fair enough. Now I think I should ask at this point what sort of bodyguarding capabilities your crew has if you're expecting to protect me on a foreign planet with unknown dangers.
Well, is this conversation occurring before or after Eva has learned uh that Zeke is psychic?
After.
Okay, and did he say anything about keeping any of that quiet? Like if she were to reveal that she has a psionic defense, would he be upset?
He did not say.
Okay. And she'll answer, well, we have Bo. He is our survival, wilderness, and violence specialist. And I have my faithful companion, Pete, is uh, also very competent in protection. Um, and we also have tools to uh, deal with any kind of psychic shenanigans that might happen.
Hmm. Okay, I'm listening.
We were a small crew, but very competent. We have many successful jobs in our future. Eva getting right up to the point of lying and then backing down.
Nice. Yeah, I was about to ask for a talk check there.
Yeah, I know. She did not like the words that were coming out of her own mouth, so she pivoted.
Well, so she'll ask. Let's see, it's 11:25. I'm noticing.
Yeah.
She will ask a little bit more detail about stuff like what kinds of weapons crew's got. What sort of weapons and defenses the ship that you have is kitted out with, and we'll also.
I think I might be able to make that easier on you, Ben, because I think that at this point, Eva is also wanting to distance a little bit, not reveal too much, and will try to professionally say that until we've both agreed to work together in this capacity, we should, keep some of these details to ourselves.
Okay. Interesting.
Because, well, I mean, it's similar to what she said, that doesn't want to discuss the job before anybody's even taken it, right?
Yeah, although she would express that as far as her secrets are concerned, it doesn't necessarily it doesn't affect what work needs to be done or whatever, or the payment, because the payment is already out front. But she needs to be confident that the people she's hiring are going to be able to protect her in this I guess foreign unknown place.
Okay. I was trying to give you an out, Ben. You didn't take it.
And I guess I wasn't necessarily, I guess I asked because I was assuming that we could just kind of gloss over that as the details.
I think the only reason that Eva would be hesitant to give full details is because she knows that we don't have a lot right now, and she has every intention of spending some money to get her crew kitted up as well as she can here.
Got you. Okay. Well, we can leave that. We can leave that Sarah Lloyd here would not love that answer, but she would respect the desire to keep a little bit of professional discretion, and that she's that part of the deal with you is going to involve having to trust that your crew is capable. Though she does indicate that disinclines her to paying extra for the job if she's going to have to go in somewhat blindly on the crew's capability.
We'll discuss any additional costs for travel before we introduce you to the crew that you'll be working with, so that you know that you don't feel uncomfortable with any of them, and before we make any binding contracts.
All right, but it's all fair. I've appreciated your reaching out, Ava. And
Now, it's Eva, spelled
Eva.
Aoibhe.
Ah, good. Yes, I had been meaning to ask about that, but well, wasn't sure if I should get Bo in any more trouble than he was already probably in.
Oh, I know he doesn't know how to spell my name. I've explained it to him so many times.
Okay. Well, it's understandable. Yeah, maybe. Might I suggest, oh, no, I'll stay out of it. That's not my business. Thank you, Eva, for your time. And, good luck with Bo. And, suppose we'll be in touch. I believe I'd be comfortable with arranging a meeting to meet the crew, but I, well, let's reconnect tomorrow. I think I need to sleep on this, and maybe you do too.
Yes, quite. Thank you, Miss Lloyd.
Yeah. Yes, goodbye.
Bye.
And click. Oh man.
So, did you expect us to jump on the prospect of more than one, Ben? Or
Not
was your
necessarily, but this was fine
okay?
because this actually means that I didn't have to, build out one of the adventures, as we went. Because I had some like a framework for each of them, but
Mm-hmm.
hadn't really fleshed any of them out as much as I would probably like to. So this means that now you guys have a bit more hook for each of these, more information, more idea of who you'd be dealing with than just a job description. And so you can pick one here at the wrap up of our session for pursuing next time. Because I do like, and I I've been very flexible and lenient about all that, but I really do like the intended design of the game,
Mm-hmm.
which is that at the end of a session you get from the players what are you going to do next time, so you can prep that and not necessarily have to worry about stuff that is obviously there will be things that come up needing improv, but you don't have to worry about the showing up to the session, players being like, all right, let's hair off in this direction. Okay, let's build the floor as we go.
I actually have a proposed sequence of actions for this
Okay.
that I wouldn't mind putting out in voice real quick to get some thoughts on. Emmanuel Gray, his job sounds immediate and, well, not easy. At least quick. Like it's something that we can just go do and isn't going to take us away for days. We'll need to find out if Lloyd is intending to leave immediately or if she's got a window, because we have a time frame for the Rogue Psychic when we get authorized in 3 days. I think likely Gray and then Lloyd, because it's going to take 3 days to get authorized in the first place, and then there's time tracking it down. And if we come back and the Rogue Psychic has already been caught, then that's fine. We had 2 guaranteed jobs that paid well. But he or she might not have been gotten caught, and so then we've got an immediate job. Presumably, we're bringing Ms. Lloyd back. But even if not, we come back and we've got an immediate job that we can look into. Does that sound? Does anybody have like any criticisms of that? Not criticism.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically mirrored my own thinking.
Cool.
Okay, so it sounds like we have 2 votes for Lloyd escort to Dimnoff, then job for Gray.
Other way around.
Wait.
Oh, other way
Yeah, I
around.
was gonna say
Oh.
Yeah.
Gray first.
Sorry, I heard that.
314.
Okay. You mean 324?
324. Yes, I do mean 324.
Yeah, one was not explored in this session.
It sounds it's a good job. It was like that to me felt like this is the safe backup job, but the other ones sound more interesting.
That's fair.
Dadgummit, I've been muted for how long now?
We haven't heard you for a long time. I thought
Sorry,
you've
I
just
thought
been.
that was on purpose.
Yeah, I
Did
thought
you
you've
think we
just
were
been role playing in Roll20.
It
I would-
was at first on purpose, and then I forgot that I was muted.
Well, I've been loving the Roll20 role play.
Thanks. All I was going to say is that Carrie would, once she was back in the vehicle with Pete, message Eva. So Ben, take out those faves real quick. Session chat's not done.
Oh, sorry, session chat's not done yet.
No.
Ooh, 1 XP.
Nope, you haven't earned that yet either.
No.
So
Still time for that to
You-
drop to 0.
okay, wow. Who does
Kidding.
that?
I know, right?
So Cherry would balancing the drink carrier on her lap and pulling out her compad, she would message Eva, and Eva would feel a little ding on her compad.
Okay. What's
And if
the
she
message?
opened her compad, she'd see a message from Cherry that said, "Hey, Captain Cutie, did some of these in my downtime. Hope you like one of them. Let me know which one's your favorite." And then she'll put little hearts and stars after her message and press send.
Nice.
I also want you to add to your notes for next session, Ben, that Cherry still has to break the news to Eva that they basically took the Emmanuel Gray job.
Yeah.
Cherry's banking on the fact that Eva will be so excited at getting partially paid up front that she'll maybe forgive her a little bit.
I have to think about how Eva will feel about that. She's not gonna. It's not gonna be negative, terribly negative. But I still have to think about how exactly she feels about that. I loved it. I thought it was
part of
great.
it might be in how it's delivered.
Yeah. Quite probably. I do have my fave already ready, by the way.
All right. Are we ready for me to drop those in there?
Yeah. And
If Ethan's willing to give you first stab at the faves.
okay.
Then, well, Ethan, you want to go first or let Dex have it?
Oh yeah, Dex, go ahead.
So, and this has to be in quotes and in italics, Ben, without
Okay.
committing us.
That was a good one. And
There you go,
is that
Robert.
something that you had specifically said out of character or in character?
It was part of the planning, and it's typed in there too.
Okay, it is typed. That is
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, I see. Without committing us under number 3. I assumed that it had been specifically spelled out. I just missed it because I was having a hard time juggling all the threads tonight. But either way, it was really great. I mean, I definitely understood that was implied.
I am only teasing in character. I absolutely out of as a player, I absolutely love the way that went, and I look forward to
Yeah,
seeing how it plays out.
yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think you guys did a great job of having some fun with a the mostly running around and talking to people session.
It really highlighted how much we are a makeshift patchwork crew.
Yep.
I was
And
actually thinking about how a content creator would haggle or would come up with an agreement for a commission work because it's all over. Like, if you're any kind of artist looking at doing things professionally, one of the biggest things that people will say, because there's all sorts of scams that happen to people, and even outside of scams, there's a lot of things that happen to people where they'll do a piece and then never get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So, content creators or just creatives in general are really encouraged to do like basically charge a down payment for a commission piece and
Mm-hmm.
then there's a finishing fee basically.
Mm,
So,
interesting.
and it can be like just 25% down or like 50% upfront, 50% on the end. But I was trying to think like what would Cherry be familiar with, and that seemed to be kind of the model I thought she might be more familiar with.
Yeah. I mean, it absolutely works. It gives us some seed money to buy the weapons and armor if Cherry can if Cherry, Pete, and Bo can locate them on the black market. That's something else to put in your notes for next session, Ben. Is that uh Evil will suggest that we try to armor and weapon up as much as we can on Urala without drawing red flags.
Alrighty.
Oh, sorry, I got away from the faves. This was a very fun session for me.
Yeah, I'm glad. It seemed like you guys were
Yeah, it
having a
was.
great time. Um, let's go ahead and get moving though, because I'm noticing we're moving along with time, moving late. Ethan, what's your fave?
Hmm.
Or you can pass if you need to.
I guess Sarah's mixed signals and Cherry dying from a non-sugar-free tea or a sugar-free tea.
I think it's only low sugar. It wasn't even sugar free. It's just low sugar.
Oh, okay, so there was sugar, it just wasn't a top full of sugar.
Yeah.
I was like, she is literally Santa Claus, where it's I'm not eating pure sugar. I'm crashing.
That's a great way to put it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna enjoy pursuing that discussion of Sarah's mixed signals at some other point. That was a fun conversation, I thought. Robert, what about you?
I liked both Cherry dying from the low sugar tea, and I also really liked the Eva scene of "I'm such a good captain."
Yeah.
Yeah,
She had several of the, like the little pep talk
Yep.
for herself in the
Yep.
discussions.
I am
She-
a good captain.
liked
I
it.
am a genius.
Little affirmations on a post-it note.
Yes.
Yeah,
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 no,
like
for
that.
sure. All right, let's see. Avery.
You can say smooth operators
Uh, I think that's pretty funny. And the appearing out of nowhere.
That was gonna be my
Unnoticed.
favorites. Was that Zeke just literally just popped into existence on Cherry's bed, and no one said a word.
I don't think Eva even noticed it.
Yeah, she was too bad or busy rattling off you're all in case law or whatever.
Bo was too busy being frustrated at her rattling off case law. And I don't know about Pete. Pete was probably
Yeah, I think
like,
he noticed afterwards. But I
He was
said,
just so
so he just
smooth
thinks
about
he's
how he
stuck
did
in
it.
there because he's such a super spy.
yeah, that's true.
Did you got anything else, Avery? It was just those two.
No, just smooth operators appear out of nowhere.
Nice. Yeah, oh boy. There were
There's a
several
lot.
great moments. I think I definitely liked I'll say the haggling with Mr. Gray. We didn't get really in depth with it, but just just trying to think how he would talk around a situation like that and the sort of phrasing he would use, and it was just enjoyable because you guys are, you know, I'm trying to present him a certain way to you guys, and yeah, trying to do, I don't know, it's an interesting character that I'm trying to show more than tell. Um, if that makes sense. Well, although some of that showing being him telling.
Mhm.
But anyway, I enjoyed that scene a lot. And I definitely have to say, I'm not sure how to put it exactly, but I think I would characterize it as uh Bo's lack of um I don't know.
Professional
Uh,
decorum.
sort of.
Social awareness,
I feel
being a general train wreck.
like interviewing skill.
He
I,
didn't
I
take any of those networking classes.
right. Because what he's essentially doing is, making a first impression, trying to interview for a job, and the first thing he says is, trying to meet up right away. What kind of man do you take me for? And she's like, "Whoa, Mister, cool your jets." And that just it. I enjoy. I feel like I was able to play out the back-to-back failures that Ethan rolled without just slamming a door in your face necessarily. Just
We do
ha-
appreciate that.
having
Yes.
fun with it while representing the stakes, or I guess the consequences commensurate with the stakes. If that makes sense. Anyway, Danielle, do you have a second fave that you wanted to mention? Danielle.
Are you muted?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I'm thinking. Okay, so my first was Zeke popping into existence. Um, I think I think my next one was gonna be Pete trying to remember where his port motor oil.
Yeah.
No, just
Oh.
the getting to interact with Pete. It's my second one.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad.
I also like, Robert, that aesthetically, our character tokens make it look like our characters are the literal opposite of each other.
Yeah, the bright aesthetic of Cherry, and then the sort of dark and gloomy of
And quite
Pete.
literally, they are like the borders are inverted of one another
Oh, I didn't notice that even.
Yeah.
chromatically.
Oh, yep, you're right. That's funny.
Well, I'll go ahead and say I know we ran late. Thanks everybody for sticking around. But if anybody needs to go, definitely can. I did want to say one thing, like in general. Avery, I hope I included you enough this session. I was realizing I felt like I kind of shortchanged you a little bit because the one thing where you were going to go off and have more of the spotlight for a bit, we kind of made into a. I guess we sort of glossed over it.
It's totally fine. Don't sweat it at all.
But yeah, because I think I know everybody has different preferences and different styles for how they interact and role play with everybody. And so if you're totally content to just kind of chill in the background and hop in and make little appearances here and there, um, I'm cool with that. I want to make sure that you are able to be as involved as you want to be in scenes and in the sessions in general. So if at any point you feel like you're kind of getting left in the background or whatever, and you'd like to jump in, don't feel like you have to wait for the right moment for Zeke to have some sort of specific sort of inner contribution or whatever. Anyways,
Thanks. Yeah, we're good.
okay. Yeah,
I'll go
Robert, I
ahead
think
and
you're probably right.
I'll go ahead and stop streaming. And also, I should have asked if you wanted me to stop streaming before you said that. If you'd like,
Nah,
when
you're
I reserve this forever, I can cut that out.
Yeah, I stand by what I said. Unless anybody else feels like it'd be best left off.
Not necessarily. I guess it would be more Avery if you don't want that discussion preserved in perpetuity.
Yeah, I don't like signs of weakness.
Yeah. See, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Now we good.